In the end, the argument that's going on between the candidates in the last 7 days isn't just about the meaning of change, it's about the meaning of hope. Some of my opponents appear scornful of the word. They think it speaks of naivete, passivity, and wishful thinking. But that's not what hope is. Hope is not blind optimism. It's not ignoring the enormity of the task before us or the roadblocks that stand in our path. Yes, the lobbyists will fight us. Of course, the Republican attack dogs will go after us in the general election. Yes, the problems of poverty and climate change and failing schools will resist easy repair. I know. I've been on the streets. I've been in the courts. I've watched legislation die because the powerful held sway and good intentions weren't fortified by political will. I've watched a nation get misled into war because no one had the judgment or the courage to ask the hard questions before we sent in our troops to fight. I know this will be hard. I know it. But I also know this. I know that hope has been the guiding force behind the most improbable changes this country has ever made. I know that in the face of tyranny, it's what led a band of colonists to rise up against an empire. In the face of slavery, it's what fueled the resistance of the slave and the abolitionist, and what allowed a president to chart a treacherous course to ensure that the nation would not continue half slave and half free. In the face of war and oppression, it's what led the greatest of generations to free a continent and heal a nation. In the face of oppression, it's what led young men and women to sit at lunch counters and brave fire hoses and march through the streets of Selma and Montgomery for freedom's cause. That's the power of hope, to imagine and then work for what had seemed impossible before. That's the change we seek. That's the change you can stand for in 7 days. We've already beaten the odds that the cynics said couldn't be beaten. When we started 10 months ago, they said we couldn't run a different kind of campaign. They said we couldn't compete without taking money from Washington lobbyists, but you proved them wrong when we raised more small donations from more Americans than any other campaign in history.